Hello and welcome! This is some special extra material to go along with Francisco Lopez's English lessons. So if you're one of his students, hey, a like and subscribe to the channel is a really great way to support all his work. All right, let's jump in. Let's kick things off with a feeling that I think we can all relate to. Lopez points out that pretty much all of us at some point get this feeling, this fear of speaking English because you're worried about your pronunciation, you think people might judge you. It's totally normal. And today, we're going to talk about how to get past it. So, in this little guided lesson, we're going to walk through Francisco Lopez's key advice. We'll start with what he says is the most important part, your mindset. After that, we'll dive into some really practical tools you can start using right away. Then we'll talk about the power of just plain old practice, and we'll wrap up with a little practice session for you. Okay, so let's get into this first big point from Lopez. And it's a huge one. Real progress in pronunciation, well, it doesn't start with your mouth. It actually starts in your mind.
Lopez talks about this really common trap that so many students fall into. It goes like this. You're afraid of being judged, so you just stop practicing. And because you're not practicing, you don't see any improvement, which, of course, leads to frustration. And from there, it's so easy to just give up and think, English is just too hard for me.
Right, so the solution here is to actively change your mindset. You've got to accept that learning a language isn't a race. It's a process. It takes time. Lopez really emphasizes that patience is everything. Remember, we all learn at different speeds, so you have to be patient with yourself and just trust that you'll get there.
Okay, so once you have that patient mindset, let's move on to the practical stuff. We're going to look at some of the tools Lopez recommends you start using today to really build up your confidence and your skills.
First up is a really cool one. Lopez suggests using AI, but not just for searching things. Think of it as your own personal English coach that's there for you 24/7, whenever you need it.
So, Lopez actually designed a specific AI coach prompt to help with this. The whole idea is that it acts as your translator, your teacher, and your conversation partner all in one. It's programmed to correct you gently, to focus on real-life scenarios, and, most importantly, to give you positive feedback to keep you going.
Now, Lopez suggests using two main tools, and they each have a different job. The AI coach is like having that practice partner you can talk to anytime without any judgment. But then there's self-recording, which is so powerful because it helps you become your own critic. You can actually hear how you sound and pinpoint exactly what you want to work on. And when you do record yourself, Lopez lays out the super simple but effective process. Step 1, just record yourself talking. Don't worry about making mistakes. Then listen back. Try to spot any words you might be mispronouncing and notice your speaking speed. Find the right way to say those words and then just listen, repeat, and record again. You do that until you feel good about it.
These tools are absolutely fantastic for building confidence. They really are. But Lopez is very clear that there's one thing they can never replace, and that is consistent, dedicated practice.
And this quote right here, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. All the tools, all the mindset work, it's all designed to get you to do one thing: actually speak the language. According to Lopez, there is just no substitute for speaking regularly if you want to see real, lasting improvement.
So how do you actually do that? Well, Lopez suggests building a whole routine. You can combine your self-study using these tools with your formal classes. It's about figuring out what works for you. Private lessons, a group class, online, and then making a real commitment to practice what you're learning even when you're not in class.
All right, it is time to put all this amazing advice into action. We've talked about the mindset, we've talked about the tools. So now let's get into some actual exercises based on Lopez's recommendations.
Okay, here's your homework. You can pause here and take a screenshot if you'd like. This week, try having a practice chat with an AI about ordering food. Then, find a short article, record yourself reading it, and listen back to find just 3 words to work on. It's small, it's manageable, and it's a perfect way to start building that confidence.
So, when you boil it all down, the final takeaway from all of Lopez's advice is really clear. Consistent and patient practice is how you improve. So the only question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take this week to get started?